girl Haitian doll Sophia back at again with another YouTube video. And if you're wondering why my hair looks different, it's because I took off my purple unit, not because I was getting annoyed with it or anything. For those of you who know, I wear colored wigs, and most of the time when people wear colored wigs, they get annoyed with them. They're like, oh, it doesn't go or anything, so they resort back to wearing a more natural colored wig. But with me, that's not the case. I just took it off because with my units, I like to take care of them, wash them, make sure that they don't have any tangles, make sure everything is good with them, make sure if they need to be recolored after a certain period of time, I do that. So I'm right now wearing my black wig because it's very low maintenance. With colored wigs, they're very high maintenance, so that's why I just opted to put this one on. But my colored wig will be back on my head soon. And as for my natural hair, I actually take care of that in between my installs, and sometimes when I have a unit on and my braids are. I forgot to mention, yes, I am in my college dorm. As I was saying, I was gonna be here like when I was in my past couple of videos, and I kind of like this dorm because last year I was in a 3-year dorm, and this kind of goes with the video because it's 2 rooms, but I have my own room here in the back. So this dorm is pretty sweet. If you guys want a dorm room tour, let me know. And I was planning on doing one, but I'm like, I need to make sure it's something you guys want to see, because it's not that I depend on what you guys want to see, but I just want to see if you guys are interested in content like that, if you know what I mean. But yes, I am in my college dorm room, and I'm recording from here. I did bring my tripod and my ring light because I already made a goal to keep posting on YouTube. It's not that like before that I didn't have the time to post on YouTube. It's just that I wasn't very committed to doing YouTube. And if you watch my older videos, you will see that. So now that I'm very like committed to doing it, and like I'm just having fun with YouTube and experimenting, like at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna get monetized, but I'm not finna really stressed over me getting monetized like next year, this year. Like at the end of the day, I know what's for me will always be for me. So yeah, shout out of the day is going to Alexis Nieves, and she has a lot of beauty content and a lot of vlogs on her channel. Make sure you check out her channel, ALEXIS_NIEVES, and it will be in the description, and it'll be in the art card, and then it'll also be on the screen this side or this side, and then the Instagram will be on either of the sides and in the description. So without further ado, let's get into the title of today's video. And the title of today's video is Advice from a College Sophomore. So I basically took my YouTube book, and yeah, I know this is my handy dandy YouTube book, and I just keep this to keep my thoughts organized and everything. So my first tip is do your work when assigned, or at least a week early if able. So the reason I put this on here is because a lot of college students, they like to say stuff for last minute. Not even only college students, high school students too. They like to say stuff for the last minute, especially with us being like this generation that had to go through online schooling, and even before that, because across the I guess across this Florida or even all the 50 states, like during my high school years, like cause I went to for 9th grade year, I was in a private school, and I was in private school from 6th to 9th grade, and then for pre-K to 5th grade, I was in public school. But we ended up going to a private school, and then after that, I transitioned back to public school. So during that time of me being in public school, we were provided a laptop, and most of our work was through that laptop. Even when we were at school, we were doing work on the laptop. So basically, our generation of high schoolers, we basically went through, and middle schoolers too as well. We basically went through kind of virtual learning, but at school. So with that, people would not turn in their work because, you know, they so used to the teacher being on top of them to turn in their work. And I understand in high school some teachers would do that, but not all teachers are going to be like there and telling you. That's when the teachers or professors are going to be telling you, because even in college, some professors, they're pretty nice and they want to see you succeed, and they have children, so they see where you coming from. Like if they see you going off marrying off the wrong path, they might give you like a heads up or whatever. But at the same time, that's not their job. At the end of the day, you have a responsibility, because when you get in high school, teachers see you as an adult, and at the end of the day, you should be preparing to act as an adult, because your next step is college. If you are going there, and regardless if you're going to college or not, you're going to go out into the real world when you graduate. So you can't just be dependent on them to tell you when work is due, and you can't be doing work last minute, because when you do last minute work, that's like you acting for a bad grade, especially if it's something that you know is long and it takes a lot of time, especially on college papers and projects. Because if you don't take your time with stuff that you know you have to actually take your time, be thorough with, double check, all that type of stuff, it's gonna be crappy, and then you're gonna turn it in. You probably at least get a C. And I'm telling you, do not wait 2 days before, 3 days before, do not wait 4 days before. I'm saying if you got a paper due, start that thing 5 days before, and then like on the 3 days before the assignment is due, hurry up and finish it all together. Not hurry up, but wrap it up. And then like 2 days before the paper is due, go ahead, proofread, see what you need to take off, do your MLA citation, all that stuff. But do not be waiting last minute. That's the moral of the story. Do not wait last minute to turn your work. So let me give you guys a quick example. So today is September 2nd. So let's say my professor was like, oh, I'm giving you guys an 8-page paper, and you gotta just make it related to something that we talked about in class, and he's giving out topics or whatever. So he gives out the topics the same day. So everybody's pulling their topics out from a drawer, and you can't see them. So I pull my topic out. That's right then and there. You need to make you like a whole planning sheet, and you start writing down what you're gonna put on the paper. Start researching. If you a person who likes to go to the library, do all that type of stuff, you can start planning. The next day, start like envisioning what you want your title to be, and then start writing your first paragraph. Because me, an 8-page paper, I could do that in a week or less. But everything is different for some people. But I'm saying don't leave it for last minute, point blank, period. Because once you start leaving stuff for last minute, you already get in the habit of leaving it for last minute. But sometimes people see that they do rush work and they don't get grades on it, so they try to switch their attitude. And that's way better for you and way healthier for your getting your degree than doing stuff like that. So my next tip is study and find suitable study methods for yourself. So don't just study how you see other people study if you know that it's not something that's going to help you retain knowledge. Because a lot of people do that. They want to study with their friends. I understand it's good to study with people, but sometimes you study with people, and when the day of the test come or the quiz comes, there's nothing retained in your head, and you basically fail because you didn't memorize anything, or you didn't have prior knowledge before that. So what I would say is find a suitable study method for yourself, and make sure you're not studying last minute, because a lot of college students do that too. They try to cram everything in last minute. And when I say last minute, I'm talking about don't do it 1 day before, don't do it 2 days before, don't do it 3 days before, don't do it 4 days before, don't do it 5 days before. I'm gonna say do it 6 days. Like if it's like end all be all and that's the only time you have to study, try to do it at least 7 to 6 days before that exam, so you could have a week to study. But usually with like midterms, I say like with my midterms, they will give us like announcements like 2 weeks before, so we had a lot of ample time. So I'll say as soon as you get that study guide, I already be looking through it, because that's what I do. So that way you could just sit back, relax, just take bits and pieces of the information every day, and then when the test comes, you like, I got it. You zooming through the test. So that's my tip on studying. Third tip is get to class on time or early. And the reason why I say get to class on time or early, because when you get to class early, you already get set up. Because sometimes when you get to class early, the professor's not in there and the door will already be unlocked. So you just set up, put your notebook, your laptop, your pen, and you already just preparing for the day. So you get in there, and sometimes they'll, like, if the professor comes in early, they give you the work, you finish your work early, you can leave class early. I'm just giving y'all free play. And then you get there on time, that's still good. I mean, but I prefer early, because I was always early. Especially in high school, I was always early to my classes. But yes, it's very important to get to class. And don't miss class because you was out there partying. because a lot of y'all do that, especially the ones who actually live in dorms. It was geared to people who mostly live on dorms, but people who live like they live in the area, people who are commuters, they do the same thing, because they'll be out partying with people who live on campus. They'll come to the campus parties, or they'll go to other campuses. Like people who from my campus will go to parties at FIU or FAU, and then you'll see people who from like Miami and go to those parties. And at the end of the day, I know you want to party, you want to have a good time, but if it's a party on Sunday night, no. And if you know, it's not even about Sunday night. If you know that you have homework due or paper due, whatever, make sure you not just like opportunity cost, I'm finna go to the party over making sure my grades straight. Like, that's not a good decision. Tip number 4, take notes, but do not write word for word. Well, I mean word per word or word for word, same thing. Okay, the reason why I say this, and professors will tell you this, and high school teachers, because you write it down word for word, and it's harder to retain knowledge that way. And at the end of the day, you want to write it down in something that you're gonna understand to retain knowledge from it, not write it down so because somebody told you to write. So try to not write everything down word for word. I understand you want to take notes and you want to make sure you got it in your notebook, or you want to take it on your laptop, whatever the case may be, the way you take your notes. But at the end of the day, make sure you're going to be able to retain that knowledge, because at the end of the day, if you're writing down these notes and you don't remember nothing when it comes time to take a test or in general, it's not going to be very helpful. Okay, so for my next tip is to use your resources. And this kind of goes with what I said with asking for help in class, and whether it be asking through help through an email, especially if you don't understand the assignment, or you probably didn't, like anything you need from the professor, go ahead, do not hesitate to email them. So using your resources consists of books, tutoring, the actual professor, and technology. So you want to use as much resources as you can so you can get your work done. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get a bad grade because you didn't ask questions or you didn't look up something, because that can cost you a grade. As you guys know, plagiarism is something big in college. Why I said to look up stuff before you just write it down or type it up is because a lot of the times you'll probably just be writing stuff down blindly, or you'll probably just be like, I'm gonna write this down because I just want to get this paper done, and it's probably something that don't even make sense or don't even exist, but you wrote it down because you like, I'm just trying to get this paper done. The professor not really finna check in and read through all this work, but then you write it down and your professor like, okay, I have a question about your paper, this is inaccurate, yada yada yada. So there you go, you didn't do any research, you don't have any sources to back up what you said, so then you're gonna end up getting your paper getting a 0 or a low grade. So that's why I'm just saying, personally, make sure you do some research before you just go in and try to do anything. Is to take care of yourself, and in parentheses I put self-care, workout, etc. So a lot of people are aware of what freshman 15 is, but if you're not, I'll explain it to you. So freshman 15 is basically when you go on to college, i.e. mostly if you're a freshman, a college freshman, you go on to college, and mostly if you live in a college dorm. So you come here, and of course your parents probably will supply you with a lot of food, and they'll probably consist of like your favorite snacks, which you can eat snacks, but make sure you're not eating too much of it. Because at the end of the day, if you eat too much of one thing, you're going to gain weight. Like, there's no loophole around that. So, yes, that's what freshman 15, basically, you come here, you gain 15 pounds or more. And then sometimes college dorms don't really have, like, a gym. But most college dorms, I think they have a gym. And if your college dorm has a gym, I would suggest you to get into the gym and work out at least 30 minutes every day or 5 days a week. Because I don't even work out every day because you need rest days. But a lot of people say 30 minutes a day. But the reason why I say I probably need rest days because I don't work out 30 minutes. My workouts will be an hour to 2 hours long. So that's why I probably need rest days. I just can't work out for 30 minutes because that's just not who I am. And I've been past that. I never think I ever worked out for 30 minutes in my whole life. But me personally, I didn't have freshman 15, and I'm definitely not gonna have sophomore 15. If anything, I had lost weight, and I keep continuing to lose weight because, as I said, I work out 5 days a week from an hour to 2 hours of those 5 days. But it's not just about working out in freshman 15. It's also about making sure, if you're a person that likes to keep on top of themselves, like if you're a person that likes to do their nails, go get pedicures, and all that type of stuff, get their hair done, don't just let yourself go because you're in college. I understand money might get a little tight because you're in college. And another factor to that, when people get here, they like to get jobs that's around their campus, or they're doing work study. And work study is not that bad, but some people prefer to do their work like in their dorm and stuff. And work study, they give you like max, I think 4 hours a day. Not every day. I think you only work like 4 to 5 days a week. But at the end of the day, some people don't do their work during their work study jobs because they just don't feel comfortable doing that. So that can also factor into some of your stress. And if you have an actual job that's around your college campus and it's part-time, like you getting hours, I understand you could be making like good money for somebody who's a college student. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you can balance your school life, because you can't just be, okay, I'm all about working while you trying to be here getting a degree, because at the end of the day, that's what you originally came here for. Okay, so my next tip is prepare your stuff a night before. This goes for commuters, and this goes for people who live in college dorms. So you need to prepare your stuff the night before, because waking up in the morning trying to rummage for clothes is not the move at all. Because first of all, why are you going to be rummaging for clothes when last night you was watching Netflix the whole time? You wasn't doing nothing productive. You wasn't doing your work, but you want to rummage for clothes when you could have did that last night. You going to be up all last night. You got an 8 a.m. and you going to be up till 12 o'clock in the morning watching Netflix or probably watching YouTube videos. I don't know what you doing. You ain't doing nothing productive, and you sure ain't do the work that's due this week. But you sure enough finna wake up in the morning, drag your feet, and be searching for clothes. Then you gonna be like, oh, Mom, can you drop me off to school? Like, no, y'all really need to get y'all priorities straight. And if I'm coming for you, I'm sorry, but you need to get your priorities straight, because at the end of the day, I want to see you win. Okay, so for the next tip, and my last tip, is wake up at a timely manner. So that kind of ties in with the last tip. So if you know you have class at a certain time, whether it be at 8 a.m., a 10 a.m., a 12 p.m., a 2 p.m., and you live like you're a commuter, basically, don't be like, just because you have to drive to campus, that, oh, it's not that much traffic, because you never know what might go on from you coming from your house to come here. You don't know if it's going to be a car accident. God forbid it be with you, but if somebody get in a car accident, that blocks off the road. You don't know if it start raining, that slow down the traffic. You don't know if it's heavy traffic in general. You don't know what's gonna go on the way from your house to the your university or your community college or wherever you go. So you can't just be like, oh, I know it's gonna take me 30 minutes to get there, and you usually take what, probably like 35 minutes or 40 minutes, but you like, okay, I could make it work. It's gonna take me 30 minutes to get there. That's what the GPS saying. But guess what? You get on the road, and come to find out, it's gonna rain. So you stuck in traffic. You end up late, or altogether you missed the class because you being negligent. I could use myself as a great example, even though this stuff really hasn't happened to me. But I could say I could stand as a great example. If you guys don't know, yes, I'm from Orlando, Florida, but my university is in Miami, Florida. So it's 4 hours from home. Okay, I'm staying on my college campus. But let's say I was a commuter. So the smart thing would be to do is make sure I know how much time and how much miles it is from my house to the university. And every day I would look at how much time it will go through. Like, I would look up, like, especially I would be the one to leave the house early. So if I have a 1:30 class, I would leave my house at between 12:30 to 12:45, because you is not gonna catch me in no traffic. I don't care if I gotta sit in a parking lot, like if I gotta take a quick nap in a car, like at the end of the day, my butt is going to be to class on time. So I'm just giving y'all an example. Could I forget? I forgot to write this one down, but it just came to my mind as soon as I was like just sitting here. Don't hang with the wrong crowd, because peer pressure is a hell of a devil. So if you hang with the wrong crowd, 9 times out of 10, well, yeah, 9 times out of 10, somebody gonna peer pressure you to do something. Then here you go, they skipping class, so you skipping class. They smoking and drinking, now you smoking and drinking. Next thing you know, they going to jail, you going to jail. So follow them if you want to, but don't say I ain't tell you. I ain't never did nothing like that. Cause me, when I tell you no, no means no. N-O, nada, zilch, nothing. Nothing, period. So when I tell you no, no means no at the end of the day. Ain't nobody peer pressuring me to do jack crap. I ain't gonna cuss on here, so jack crap. So if you wanna do that, if y'all could hear, y'all, like, not even only this video, like my other videos, you would hear my Floridian accent and my Caribbean accent, or you would probably hear it all together. But right now you just hear me talking the normal way I talk. But I don't know, my voice is just like weird. I guess it depends like what I'm talking about, like, cause if I'm like very like aggressive with that topic, then you will hear like me switching my tone of voice in the way I talk. I don't know, but I know some of y'all felt that last tip, and I probably might upset some people with this video, but at the end of the day, it's true. Because I'm not gonna say I'm perfect, but all the stuff that I talked about in this video, I ain't never did it. So I'm just giving y'all free game. Like I said, don't hate the player, hate the game. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to give you guys the recipe to win, because I seen it, I heard it with my own, I seen it with my own 2 eyes, and I heard it with my own 2 ears. And I seen other people go through those mistakes. And even though I was never a person that I was gonna go after doing stuff like that, I was like, let me just look at people and observe it, because I know there will come a time where I would want to give people advice as a person who never did those stuff, and I will have to give reasoning behind it. So I was like, I'm going to just sit back, observe, and see people who go through these actions, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give advice, whether it be on YouTube, in person, to my own children, so on and so forth. But I hope you guys liked the video. If you want more videos like this, let me know. I hope it's not too lengthy for you guys. And make sure you check out Alexis Nieves' channel. As I said, all her information will be in iCards and descriptions and on the screen. If you are new to the Dollhouse, make sure you subscribe so you can become a dolly today. And turn on post notifications so you don't miss none of the saucy and fire content that I'll be producing per usual. And make sure you like and comment, because that really helps me out a lot. And welcome to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you sign the petition down below, because as I always say at the end of my videos, Black Lives Matter. They always have and they always will. And we demand justice, and we for sure demand peace. But I'll see you guys in the next video. With love and with care, be blessed and don't be stressed. Haitian doll, 𝕊𝕚𝕚 𝓲𝓼 𝓝𝓲𝓮𝓿 out.